down and eyes are tracking in 3. I have Bruce's eyes in 2. I have Jeffrey's eyes in 1 and 0. So, just to give you an update about where other classes were, Loyola upped their game to 65% this week, and they got 90% on their focus question. So let's see how we did. Seeing a lot of blue and green, so that's really awesome. We're going to give 2 big claps for all of our friends that got advanced. So 2 big claps for Jeffrey, 2 big claps for Delarian, Rory, Bruce. So if you get a advanced, that means that you got all 4 problem types right. So that means you've met your goal for this week. If you get mastery, that means you've gotten 3, but that doesn't mean that you still can't get it for this week because we're also counting the ones from Tuesday too. So I'll update you guys on that probably tomorrow. Let's look at our friends that got mastery. 2 claps for Ryan, Michelle, Jerron, Zaria, Rocco, and Chance. And some of our friends, as we can notice from our donut, we had a lot of friends that were almost there. So we're going to keep working at it, keep following the criteria for success, even from last week or the last lesson, so that we can continue to make that grow. So our mastery for this week is at, we're going to round that up to 44% as a class. And on our focus question for today, we got 91%. So you got 1 percentage point higher than Loyola on that focus question, but let's make sure we're also following the criteria for success that we've learned before, so we're getting our full class percentage up. So let's go ahead and take a look at question 4, just for friends who might not have gotten there just yet. So remember, we're supposed to flip it to a multiplication equation. They gave us 24 divided by 6. We know 24 is our total. It's going to end with our total, and one of our factors is 6. So I said slash the trash on any that don't have numbers that would be in that same fact family. So we have 6 and 24. Let's look at A. Does it have a 6 and a 24? No. Slash the trash. How about B? No. Yeah. Has 6 and 24? No. What about D? Yes. No. So it doesn't have 6 or 24. So just by following that criteria for success, we've already eliminated 3 choices, and that would have gotten us down to C without even solving the rest of it. But as good mathematicians, we're going to solve the rest of it anyway. So we are skip counting by what? 6. Until we get to? 24. Do we get to what? 24, which is our total. Let's skip count by 6 together. Here we go. 6, 12, 18, 24. Freeze. Because we have to stop when we get to our what? Total. So now let's count our groups to see how many groups of 6 we made. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. But again, we didn't even need to do that because we already found our answer. But just for the sake of it, we kept going. All right, let's look at the other ones really quickly. You are checking them off if you got the right answers. So for number 1, it gave us a word problem. It told us the soccer coach has 20 cones. Each group of players will need 4 cones for soccer practice. How many groups can the coach make so that each group has 4 cones? So I heard that word each, which means we're doing what? Multiplication or division. So we know that we can use a get it chart to help us figure out which one. So the number 20 was our what? Total. And then it said each group of players will need 4 cones for soccer practice. So it's telling us that that 4 is our what? Each. And then if we look at our question, it's telling us how many groups. So we know that's what we're trying to figure out. Strong silent hand, you can give me the equation I would write to solve this problem. Hands are down, tracking Delarian. Tracking? Delarian. Love how Ryan's eyes went straight to him. If you're not there, track Delarian.
You can do 20 divided by 4, or you can do 4 times length equals 4.
So 20 divided by 4, we would skip count by 4s. So we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. and that would have given you 5 groups. If that's what you got, give yourself a check. Number 3 was a straight up subtraction problem. If you subtracted, you should have gotten 409. If you got that, give yourself a check. And last one. This one was a little tricky, so we're going to take a second just to go over it. Alright, strong silent hand. What do you notice about these number lines? What's the first thing? Strong silent hand. What do you notice about these number lines? Hands are down, tracking groups. Tracking?
Groups. They go past one hole.
They go past one hole. So we know that before we can make hops, before we can label, before we can do all the things, strong silent hand, what's the first thing we need to do? I know Delarian knows. I need some more hands. Yvonne, what do we need to do first? Before we can label, what do we need to do? Before we can hop, say it one more time. Zoom in on one hole. Love it. So we're going to zoom in on one hole. And we're going to count our jumps. Because we know our denominator tells us the total number of equal parts in the whole. Whisper counting with me. Go. Whisper counting with me. Let's try that again. Everybody, what are we counting? Thirds. So I'm going to go ahead and label that. Now, if this were me, I would go and do the same thing for options B, C, and D. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to tell you they're all the same in this case. But they may not always be. So I would still count it on my own anyway. But for this case, they're all counting thirds. So now we need to look at, so we have our denominator, we got that. Now we need to think about our numerator. Our numerator on a number line, German, I need your pencil down and your eyes tracking, tells us the number of hops that point is away from 0. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to start at 0 and count the hops until I get to each point and see which one is 5 hops or 5/3 away from 0. So let's look at the first one together. Let's count our hops till we get to the point. Here we go. 1. So this point is at 1/3. Does that match our fraction?
No.
Slash the trash. Let's look at the next one. Count with me. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So this one's at how many thirds?
5.
Okay, I'm thinking that's it, but let's check the other ones just to be sure. Here we go. Count with me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
How many?
9.
9 what?
Thirds.
9/3. Does that match our fraction?
Nope. No.
Nope. Let's do the last one. Here we go. Counting with me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
So what did we count to?
15.
15 what? Thirds. So don't be tricked. They're trying to trick you. They put that point at the 5 to make you think that this was 5/3. But we know better that our numerator tells us how many hops away from 0. So you should have chosen B. If that's what you got, give yourself a check.